A girl dismounts from her horse, accidentally lifting her skirt. The rich second-generation heir notices her red pants and initially snorts like a hooligan.
Racing Ultraman Team Series?
But he suddenly realizes something's wrong. These are modern trousers. He rushes forward to investigate. Turns out the heir's father hired an entire film crew at great cost to stage an immersive time travel experience, drugging his son with anesthetic darts. When the heir awakens, he's become a serf for a landlord. Before he can collect himself, the foreman grabs and berates him. Punished for failing to bridle the horse on time, he receives a brutal lash genuine whip strikes for authenticity. This is a carefully built 19th century village set. It's not amateur work. Hidden cameras lurk everywhere in trees, haystacks, even embedded in goat bones. All villagers are professional actors following directorial commands. Even intimate scenes require physical realism to convince the heir he's time traveled to Tsarist Russia. Though spoiled and decadent, the heir isn't stupid. He declares it's a reality show. Stop acting! Give me my phone! What's phone? What are you talking about? Still pretending, huh? Fine, keep your ads. I'm out of here. He bolts from the village, but growing doubts emerge. Where are the camera crews for this reality show? He saw a real bear at the edge of the village. Now he believes that holy shit, this is real-time travel. Soon recaptured, charged with escaping as a slave, sentenced to execution. To reinforce the 1860s illusion, the crew escalates their realism en route to execution. They stage a slave's hand amputation. Terrified, the heir is dragged to gallows with noose secured. He roars, "My father is lying! Dare you touch me? Whoever your father is today, you die." Even father's name fails. He's scared witless. Naturally, as protagonist, the director won't let him die at the critical moment. A red-clad maiden gallops in Mary, the landlord's daughter, and scripted female lead. Her character, gentle savior, the plot demands she rescues the heir, becoming his lover, complete with intimate scenes and potential pregnancy as the story progresses. Mary said today is her coming-of-age ceremony and didn't want anyone to die on this beautiful day. The landlord, a loving father, pardoned all prisoners at once. Thus, the rich heir was released, and he literally pissed himself in terror.
Ouch. Ouch.
He hadn't noticed an eagle flying overhead. But it wasn't real, just a surveillance drone. It flew into a distant windmill. The windmill concealed a modern command center controlling the entire village. Every villager wore spy-grade earpieces, as directors and crew remotely orchestrated actors via radio. For emergencies, they'd even stationed a sniper. At any risk of exposure, they'd instantly tranquilize the rich heir. Near the windmill stood a green room where off-duty actors rehearsed lines and coordinated performances that were forbidden from using any modern terminology. Though spared execution, the heir remained enslaved, laboring in the stables. That night in the stinking stable, recalling the day's events, he became convinced of time travel and vowed to survive and find his way back. But by next mealtime, his resolve wavered. This is pig slop! This is pig slop, please give me some meat. Here's your meat. Food wasn't his only issue, sanitation was worse. No toilet paper, just grass and leaves for wiping.
This is civilization? More like defecation.
He constantly felt watched, itching with paranoia, correctly so. The crew monitored him 24/7 to prevent slip-ups, even during bathroom breaks. In following days, the heir suffered beatings and abuse, sometimes for slacking, sometimes for inefficiency. This entitled playboy, who'd always bullied others, now tasted humiliation, stewing in bitter resentment. The directors deemed it time to deploy the female lead Mary, the landlord's daughter. The script, coincidentally meet the heir, make him fall in love, marry and reform his womanizing ways, previously cycling through daily girlfriends. His sleep-around and discard behavior even shamed his billionaire father. Hence this elaborate scheme to reform him. That day, Mary's stage sobbing by the haystack caught the heir's attention. What's wrong with you? My father wants to marry me to an 80-year-old man. He expected the rich kid to show compassion and comfort her in his arms. Instead, he asked, is the old man wealthy? He is. Then why cry? Marry him. He kicks the bucket in a few years. He walked away after saying this. Both the director and the tycoon were speechless. This heartless brat never followed the script. Later, the rich kid stole a chicken.
This is the boss's old car. Well, not yours, then why aren't you fixing it?
You said it's like that, but you're not even fixing what your mom gave you. I should be... Anyway, it's all part of the story. Stop laughing.
Soon the rich kid ate the whole chicken himself, not even sharing the broth. The director saw this as a chance to awaken his conscience and wrote a new script overnight. The next day, the supervisor found the chicken was missing and asked who did it. When no one confessed, he said, 2 options. Confess, now 10 lashes. No confession, I'll pick someone random for 50 lashes. Faced with this moral test, the rich kid stayed silent. The supervisor immediately arrested a blonde youth. Later, the beaten blonde youth never exposed the rich kid. Everyone thought this loyalty would haunt the rich kid's conscience, but he'd always had underlings take blame for money, showing no remorse. He even wore a disgusted expression. Tycoon finally snapped. Deeming his son hopeless, he ordered the director to end this farce. Then something unexpected happened. A girl's skirt flipped up while dismounting, revealing red modern pants. The rich kid initially leered like a creep,
Seiki Ultraman series.
but suddenly realizing something wrong with the modern clothing, he rushed to investigate. Production team of Showcases would reveal the mistake. He led to the strip but found nothing. The rich kid thought he was hallucinating because he missed home. But coming back to reality, he apologized for his rude behavior.
Faye deeply moved inside. Even sang a song. Good.
Can you insult a mushroom?
This was the rich second generation's first apology in his life. His billionaire father wept with emotion. Seeing the brat might still be redeemable, Xiaomi accepted the apology. To ease tension, she said, after you've seen my body, I'll never be able to marry. You have to marry me. Though meant as a joke, the rich second generation took it seriously. From that day on, he lingered around Xiaomi whenever possible. Wait, the script's wrong. Mary should be the female lead. To correct course, the crew added a scene where Mary drowns herself in the river before the rich second generation's eyes, resisting marriage to an 80-year-old. The plot progressed smoothly. He rescued her from the river and placed her on a carriage. Next was the intimate scene. Mary used all her charms to seduce him. Confident in her voluptuous allure, she expected an easy conquest, but the rich second generation had seen it all. He simply closed the door and left. Now he only cared about Xiaomi. With no alternative, the director revised the script. Xiaomi's role got upgraded from extra to female-led. Under his ardent pursuit, she became his girlfriend. During their passionate romance, the director deemed the time ripe for subplot development. That day, the landlord summoned the rich second generation for a lavish feast. After wining and dining, he proposed, "My son hit someone in the city. We need a slave to take the whipping punishment. You're perfect. Afterwards, I'll grant you freedom, a house, and betroth the Xiaomei to you." Seeing hesitation, the landlord added another condition.
I believe in Z. Snow boots. I move.
Taking blame for watermelons? That's my thing. The rich second generation wasn't after these benefits, but thinking of his past self. When he hit someone during a street race, he coerced and bribed his lackey to take the blame. He knew if he didn't comply today, his future would be ruined. The wheel of karma turns, fate spares no one. Fate spares no one. Now he's become the Skegato agonizing.
Holy hell! Hengfu Manor.
This time, the rich heir learned to share. Soon, law enforcers arrived in the village and gave the rich heir 20 lashes. Each lash made him grimace in pain, each strike serving as a brutal awakening. His past misdeeds deserved this retribution. Though this was all arranged by his tycoon father, he couldn't bear to watch. The next day, when claiming his emancipation letter from the landlord's family, the landlord's son reneged denying the letter, mocking him, even spitting phlegm at him. Professional actors truly Diffity's performance was masterclass. Screen audiences were visibly outraged. Everyone expected the heir to retaliate like a man, but cowardice Privalides always bullied the weak and feared the strong. That night, lying on the grass with Xiaomei, he confessed about the landlord's son's humiliation. He nearly threw a punch, but held back. Seeing the landlord's son's face reminded him of his own former dissolute self. The tycoon thought it was thrilled that his son was finally self-reflecting, kept watching. In following days, the heir worked diligently, finishing early to date Xiaomi. They rode boats, snacked secretly, strolled together. One day, he confided to Xiaomi, "I'm actually a time traveler. My former recklessness stemmed from growing up motherless. Father was too busy making money to care." Xiaomai pretended not to understand time travel, but her perception of him shifted. She initially despised him as a stereotypical playboy. But after these days together, she realized genuine feelings had developed. Seeing this, the production team decided it was time to escalate the plot. One day, Mongolian soldiers stormed the village, demanding their most beautiful maiden or they'd slaughter everyone. Soldiers took a young woman, but they always respect bravery. If someone dares to challenge them to single combat, regardless of outcome, the girl will be released. The girl's father courageously stepped forward, but was quickly defeated and beheaded. Of course, this was a prop fake head using camera angles. Now it was Xiaomi's turn. Everyone had their eyes on the rich second generation heir. This sequence was designed to change his cowardly nature of bullying the weak. If he passed, this time travel drama would conclude perfectly. But gazing at beloved Xiaomei, then recalling the beheaded old father, "Why are you all looking at me? I'm not even close with her." After saying this, he turned and left. He chose cowardice again. Xiaomi looked utterly disappointed. The tycoon felt extreme shame, ordering snipers to immediately sedate this chicken and end the time travel. But something completely unexpected happened.
Yeah.
26 is still 20 to 30 miles low, which is rare.
3.
The rich heir rode horseback with Xiaomei, galloping across grasslands and through forests until reaching a gas station.
They were exactly who you thought they were.
No sleep, no progress.
Before he could react, pursuing snipers shot him with tranquilizers. When the heir awoke, his father told him he'd been in a car accident and comatose for 3 months. The heir thought that time travel was just a dream. Though a dream, it truly changed him no longer a scoundrel or arrogant. But he lost Xiaomi. He couldn't feel interest in any woman. Even at his former favorite bar, he found no joy. Until this day. Until he saw familiar faces the landlord's son and Marie from his dream. Seeing the heir's wretched state, they took pity and revealed the truth. Leading him to a stable, there the heir reunited with his long-eared Xiaomi.
Xiaolu Bone Station.
There. You walk away.
West.
In the end, the village that was used to form the second-generation Rich was once again utilized to transform other rebellious children.
Yes, just my math was, well, I know not for good on, and I'll see you at the rack of stew or bid.
Would they like Smillet with movie Yellow Elipro?
The second-generation Rich now plays an enforcer in this scenario. As the saying goes, old habits die hard. It's difficult to change a person, and even harder to change their bad habits. But with parental love and a partner's love, changing a person becomes less impossible. Among who? Remember to follow!